Hey everyone, it's Amber with Amber Art, and I am in the process of making these really cute envelopes that I followed along on a tutorial. I think it was a tutorial on TikTok actually that Lee Min from Lace Covered Skies. I think she's Enchanted Paper Cottage on one platform and Lace Covered Skies on another platform, and I love everything that she does. And so yesterday I was not in the mood to like be very creative, but I wanted a project to just kind of do and not have to think about very much. So I made these envelopes yesterday and they're super cute. So I'll show you one so you can see what I'm going to be making one more of these today. I have one more page that I printed out. So they're pretty simple little envelopes, but I just think they turn out very, very, very cute. You can put, you know, something inside here. Yeah, and then it has this fun tie up that you twist around a little circle that's held on with an eyelet. I love these. So we're going to be making one of these today, and you can of course put these into your journal with a paper clip or into a pocket. And they make a really nice little feature. So if you'd like to follow along with me as I make one more of these today, before I move on to another project, please do. So first you'll want to start off, and I'm going to tag Lee Min's page so that she can get credit for this creation, because this is not my creation at all. I think it's adorable though. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is find a book page that has like a lot of writing on it and maybe not a lot of images, although you could find a book page, any book page that has images on it and not print on it. But what Lee Min did was print, and this is a Jenny Allsorts, I think a Jenny Allsorts digital from eBay, no, Etsy, that I printed. All of these are different printable, like I think some of them are grungy wallpaper, various wallpapers that are from Etsy that I got in digital kits. So I'm having fun with those because I got a new printer that doesn't cost me $1,000 a page to print them out. It's so much more affordable, and it makes printing digitals make so much more sense. So this is from a vintage gardening book, and it was just a pretty boring page of writing, but I like that it now looks like something. It's cute now. It's got a visual appeal to it. And then what I did is I went ahead and trimmed this down. You don't have to, I suppose. You could make your envelope this size if you wanted. I guess it doesn't really matter what size the envelope is, but because my journal is short, this would be longer. This is the bottom of the envelope. This is the flap that folds over. So if my journal was that length, let me see, let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is taller. Oh, actually, it's taller than my journal, so I don't want that. So I trimmed it down to be about this size, and we save the offcuts because we're going to use them in something else. And normally I don't even fold that over. Here's all the offcuts from my other other envelopes that I've made, and you'll notice that I didn't fold them over. I cut it first so that I have these strips that I can use as other things in journals later, in the same journal, to kind of give it some cohesive colors and cohesive patterns and styles. So, but what I do want to, my printer, I haven't quite figured out yet how to get it to print all the way to the edges. There's something about the printer I have that's making that super complicated, and I don't consider myself to be necessarily like computer illiterate. It just can't seem to figure out how to get it to print all the way to the edges. It's an Epson Eco Tank. I think the Epson ET4800. And all the tutorials that I see online of how to get it to print all the way to the edges, it always says, you know, go to settings, do this, do that. And and I'm like, okay, gotcha, following along. And then it'll say, click on print borderless. And that is not an option. I do not have that option in mine. I wish I did. That's exactly what I want to do, but it's just not there. On Lehman's page, she printed both sides. I have not done that. You can print both sides, but I did not feel like that was as necessary. I think maybe I just feel a little impatient. On some of these, they have some cute images. When you fold them up, you can see some things inside there. But I figure this will be pretty closed up inside of the journal. It doesn't have to be printed on the inside, although I think that would be a nice surprise. And maybe I'll put a sticker in here or something, or maybe do some stamping eventually. You can choose what you want to do there. Next thing you're gonna need is a cropadile. I don't have the cropadile Big Bite. I know those are very, very desired in the junk journal world, but this is the one I have. So you're gonna wanna put a little hole right in the middle, as far down as it will go. That was as far down as it will go for me. And then you're going to make this button right here. And I have some pre-cut out circles in this little bin here. I would probably want to create something else to go along with this here. My preference would be to punch out a new button. Actually, that one's pretty cute. But my button punch died yesterday. My hole punch, I should say. So I am out a punch and waiting for a new one to arrive. I went ahead and ordered. So this is the same print, but I want it to stand out. I ordered a new button circle punch yesterday. Of course, it won't be here in a few days. And I wanted to get this done. That's pretty cute too. I think I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah, I like that one. So we're gonna take out some eyelets too. We're gonna need 2 of them eventually. Okay. If you don't have a cropadile, I'm sure you could use a brad. Maybe just use a brad to place this in. That would work too. And you're going to punch a hole right in the center as you can get it. I never seem to be able to get it right in the center. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be perfect. Place that eyelet in there. These are a little fiddly, but I do love how these turn out. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to ink the edges of this. I think it looks nice when it kind of stands out a little bit. And I think I have some ink. I like to use kind of a mix between this Distress Oxide Vintage Photo and this, I think it's called Buttercup. I like the edges to be a little, you know, I don't like it to be super brown. And I feel like sometimes this is the only color of Distress Oxide. I know that there are different colors I could get, but I like to use what I've got, so that helps. Okay, take 2. Actually, I'm going to bend the edges of this up just a little bit so that it can wrap around, so that the string can wrap around. Just kind of bend it up just a little bit so that you have some area to wrap that string around. Yeah. Okay. All right, so there we have our little tab that we can wrap the string around. And then, oh, I may have folded that a little bit. I guess that'll be fine. And then I like to go ahead and glue, I'm gonna put this over here so it doesn't get lost. I go ahead and glue the edges down here. We are gonna sew, so you could skip this part if you'd like. Okay, now what you're gonna do is sew along here and then over to here and then down here. And I use a zigzag stitch. Let me see if you can see that zigzag. The zigzag stitch. So it goes from the bottom of the envelope here and I like the stitch to show up on the back side, so I sew on this side. I go here, all the way around here, and then down. You could stitch along the bottom. I've just left that open because I don't want to take up more room in the envelope with the stitch. So once you've done that, I am not going to go off camera and do that stitching because I don't want to have to edit this photo together, but let's just, or this video, but let's just pretend that I've gone ahead and done that stitching. And when that's done, I would come back here and we're going to make this little tab. I think these are so cute. Lehman uses these a lot in her books, and I think it's a very cute little tag. You could use any tag you wanted. I just do kind of like this little pill-shaped tag that she makes. So, well, all you need for that is a piece of, I'm just using a piece of cardstock, a leftover piece of cardstock that I have in my little leftover cardstock folder here. And then you can, this is where these offcuts come in handy. You could use it just plain, but I'm going to glue something to it. So I'm probably going to use something like this to be a little off. This is from another one of these envelopes, probably this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue . Okay. We'll go ahead and let that dry for a few minutes. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and wrap my string. So I have these two different colors, a string here, and I think I'm going to go with this one. The pink just is a little too much. A little too much pink. So So you start with wrapping the string around this tab, this button you've made, and tying it. And tying it underneath there and being careful to not really yank on that knot or you'll just pop that whole button off. Because this is, you know, vintage paper, and so we're gonna be a little gentle. And then you could leave this string dangling if you like. I go ahead and cut it. I kind of like how I did that a little bit closer and it tucks underneath there. I might do that going forward. It was a happy mistake. And then you can have the string wrap around as many times as you like. I usually do twice. And then you're gonna leave enough string here to be able to attach the button, to attach this little tab. Speaking of which, let's get this tab made. Okay. So it's still a little damp, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Sometimes when it's a little damp, it can bend and not cut. But let's see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and trim that up a little bit. Okay, now you're gonna use your corner punch to round out those edges and give it that pill shape. That looks a little bit long. There, nice and straight across. There's our little tag. You know, I've been watching Lehman's videos for a long time, and my style is really, and I've been I'm really inspired by her, and I've just sort of decided to learn by copying her in a lot of ways, and hoping that my style will emerge as I kind of learn and emulate her. But for years, so I saw her having these little pill-shaped tabs in her journals, and I was trying to find these in like a die cut. And I was entering like pill-shaped die cut, pill-shaped hole punch for a long time, probably for 6 months. And then I finally saw a video, and I even commented on YouTube videos of her, like, where did you get that shaped of a hole punch? It was driving me crazy because I think it's so cute. And then finally I saw her make a video doing the edge cutting, like using her her corner punch, and I was like, oh, that's how you do that. Got it. So I was very relieved and also like, why, hello, that is so obvious. Okay, so you're going to use your cropadile again, poke a hole in here. And if you don't have a cropadile, you could just, I'm sure, use a hole punch of some kind and pop a hole in here and not use an eyelet. I think the eyelet adds a little bit of flair. I like the hardware in here. Okay, and then we are just going to tie this down. Now, in order to figure out where to tie, go ahead and wrap it around a couple of times. I just like to go around once. I think more than that is a little bit of overkill. And then you can tie this off wherever you want. I like it to be kind of close because I like it to stand out against the paper. And I tie it twice. And then I go ahead and leave that string there. I might trim it down just a little. But I like the having that string there. You can do whatever you like. But that's it. I'm going to go add the sewing around the edges. But that is all it takes to make that very cute, that really cute envelope. All right. Thanks for joining along. See you later. Bye-bye.